Monday, June 27, 2016, with the flag salute with Ms. Robinson.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Amendola?
Here.
Ms. Glasser?
Here.
Ms. Damas? Mr. O'Brien?
Here.
Ms. Perry? Mr. Lavasser?
Here.
Ms. Amendola?
Here.
Mayor Plume? Solicitor Gladys?
Here.
Engineer Strunk?
Here.
Public Works Director Kozarowski?
Here.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the bill list dated June 27, 2016.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes dated June 13, 2016.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Regarding citizens' comments on agenda items, there are no citizens that have signed up for agenda items or comments in general. So we will move on to our special presentation from Connect.
Thank you, everyone. I'm Lindsay Angelo. I'm the project manager at Connect. Is that this on? You hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Want to use my microphone?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's better.
Can you hear better now? Okay.
Perfect, you could have.
Okay. So I'm Lindsay Angelo. I'm the project manager at Connect. Thank you very much for having me here. I have some handouts just so you have something to look at while I talk at you for a few minutes. I guess I can just
I'll pass.
Passing the thing. So I think I've met a couple of you, but for those who don't know, I'll just do a brief overview of Connect, what Connect is. Crafton is a member, so I'm happy to come and give an update. And I'll just let you know current initiatives that we're working on and answer any questions that you might have. Connect is the Congress of Neighboring Communities. Our mission is to bring together the city of Pittsburgh and all of the neighboring municipalities, what we call the urban core, to help them identify public policy issues and to figure out ways to advocate for collective change on behalf of that urban core. So Connect is a model of intergovernmental cooperation. It's a formal structure of dialogue, not only between the communities that border, but also the communities and the city. And as many of us know, this is it's a pretty jurisdictionally complex region. It's one of the most fragmented in the United States. So Connect was really born out of that and as a formal response to that, to get communities to reach over borders and someone fell and talk to each other about common issues that they have, and instead of coming up with 40 different solutions for certain issues, collaborating on maybe just one issue, one common solution or a couple of them, and to strategize that sort of thing. So as far as our structure, we're very small staffed. It's myself and the executive director, Kristen Michaels, and our founding advisor. We have graduate student interns because we're located at the University of Pittsburgh's Graduate School of Public and International Affairs, or GSPA. We have graduate student interns that work for us. They add some staff capacity and they do a lot of research for us. We have a slate of officers, sort of acts like our board of directors. We have a chair, which is Mark Samponia from Green Tree. We have vice chair, second vice chair, secretary. We added 2 new members of the officers. One is for borough managers, because we realized that a huge part of our municipal representation from our members is borough managers. Some elected officials, but we wanted to give that representation on our officer board. We also have one for the county. The county has been a huge supporter of Connect, and County Executive Rich Fitzgerald currently sits in that seat. We also, importantly, we have an executive committee. That is basically, it's a meeting that we do once a month with our member representatives. It's usually on the 3rd Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. It's pretty much open to the public. It's mostly for our members, but other people come in. Sometimes we have presentations done by outside organizations. Like, for example, our last week's meeting, we had the Port Authority come in and they presented on the capital budget, something that affects all of our members. And they talked a little bit about service guidelines and the reports that are coming out. So they were able to answer some questions from our members, and that's usually what happens at our executive committee meetings. They'll have people come in and talk, and it's a chance for our members to hear from us and to hear from each other and all of that. And as far as our actual policy issue areas, we have 3 main ones that we're working on this year. That's blighted and vacant housing, we have infrastructure coordination, and water and sewer is a really big one. Other ones that we work on are public transportation, we work on EMS services, energy efficiency, and there's a few other ones, but those are sort of our main policy areas. As far as infrastructure coordination, our members approached us about a year and a half ago, talking about the issues they were having with the duplication of road repair and road construction. I think that Crafton was at one of our summits that we held, but essentially we're looking at the right-of-way management problem. I think we've all seen it. A municipality comes in, paves a road, and then 6 months later a utility comes in and digs it up. It's very frustrating for everybody, and it's a waste of money. So we've been working with our members and with the major utilities to try to figure out what the problem is and different ways that we can come up with a solution. So we had 2 summits last year. Currently, we're working on a way to procure some sort of common data platform where municipalities and utilities can more systematically communicate with each other rather than kind of getting lost trying to find a point of contact in people's gas, so things like that. So we're working on that. We're also doing biannual meetings between the municipalities and the utilities in the meantime. We have one coming up in September, which I'll send out an email about when and where that's going to be. But that's just a time to get everyone face-to-face, share schedules, talk about strategy, things like that. The last one we did was pretty successful. People were able to get some face-to-face interaction about where they're digging and things like that. Land banking and blight, that's a pretty big one. We have GRB blight attorney Megan Ott, who's been working with a number of our municipalities to help them strategize how they approach blight and how to approach it in a more proactive way rather than a reactive, just code violations way. And that's been really, really helpful. We had a blight workshop last month where she and another attorney for 2 hours just talked to our members. There's about 15 municipalities there. We called it a blight therapy group because it was a lot of people sharing their frustrations and what the issues that everyone's been having. But it was a really good conversation, and we had a lot of really good feedback. So we'll do probably workshops like that in the future, maybe more focused on tax liens and things like that. Lastly, the water and sewer issue. I'm sure everyone's aware of the sewer issue, sewer regionalization. We've worked with Three Rivers Wet Weather on the Sewer Regionalization Implementation Committee, or SRIC, it's a terribly long name. But that was to help, or to look at transferring multi-jurisdictional sewer lines to Alcosan. That's been over for about a year, but we're sort of picking up a little bit, talking about stormwater, EPA consent decrees, Alcosan, board representation is still a really big issue with our members. So we're going to be working a little bit more on that in the coming months. That moves, water and sewer moves pretty slowly, mostly. But so we'll be doing some more work there. So that was kind of a mouthful. That's a lot of what Connect is doing right now. The bottom line is we want to make sure that Crafton has a voice at the table when it comes to regional issues. We want to make sure that you're represented, and that if you have any issues and you want to be able to communicate with the city or communicate with bordering municipalities, we'd love to be a resource in that way. Sometimes municipalities even just call us up to do some research, and Wilkinsburg did that last week. Just things like that. We really are, we try to be a resource for our communities. And we also, we do a lot of policy work, but one of the main values that our members, they get out of us is just being able to talk to each other. So, we love to be a resource in research and policy things, but bringing people together is something that Connect has been able to do really well. So, You're welcome to any of our executive committee meetings. The next one we have is July 21st, and that's going to be at Etna Borough, 10 a.m. Just let me know if you're coming, and
I believe Coletta is our connect.
yes, Coletta, she represented Crafton at our annual Congress. So I have to chat with her a little bit. So yeah, I think she's the main representative. Usually
Right.
there's, people have between like 2 and 3 representatives most of the time. Yeah, we were happy to have Colette at the Congress.
Awesome.
So, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. My card is on that packet. It also has a copy of the resolutions that we passed at the most recent Congress. You can just see what we're up to and what we'll be working on. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions?
Feel free to email or call if you have any questions later as well.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next then, we will hear from the folks at the library.
As you probably know, I'm Kathy Robinson. I'm the Executive Director of the library. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Kathy Robinson, the Executive Director of the library. And first, I want to say thank you for council's continued support. The library is an important resource for this community, and I'm thrilled that you all recognize that and are willing to support us in our work to provide for what the community wants and needs. And we're continuing our work to find out what those things are and to be what we can do for this community. In light of that, I would like to introduce you to Richard Brustowitz, who is our new children's librarian. He comes to us from, he started out in Washington County at the Peters Township Library. He went to the Washington and Jefferson College, or the university yet? College. And did his graduate work at Dominican out in Chicago. Has worked for Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, has worked for the River Forest Public Library, and he's now working for us. And he has a whole bunch of good ideas, and let him say a few words to you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, and thank you so much, Kathy, for the very nice introduction. Hi, I'm Richard Brustowitz. I'm the new children's librarian at Crafton. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you so much for letting me speak to you like this. It's a real honor to be able to meet all of you. I just wanted to kind of go over briefly some of the points I had for ideas for either expanding or continuing the children's services that Crafton Public Library offers. So currently, we on Tuesday nights are offering our usual children's programs, and those are on about a 6 to 8 week schedule. And in light of the fact that this seems to have worked reasonably well for the library, I would like to mostly continue with the way things have been there, and then kind of get feedback from members of the community to see what works, maybe what hasn't worked so well, and what we can do to, first of all, engage more people in the community, especially children. And to figure out ways in which we can maybe also engage, some of the adults in the process too. So some of the ideas we have for that, for instance, would include specific discussions or activities related to, say, for instance, Harry Potter, which is a regular, popular thing, not just for me, but also, for the children we work with.
A lot of adults.
A lot of adults, right? Legos, which are also, a big thing. American Girls, which I remember my sisters and a lot of the people we worked with when I was at River Forest, the kids loved these as well. And so what we really want to do is to kind of expand the library services to not just cover, to cover as many sort of pockets of different interest groups that we can, really to kind of also go across kind of any perceived differences in interests people may have and so on. So Fridays, we're going to continue something we began over the summer for the summer reading campaign, the science, technology, engineering, and math related programs. This past week, I'll give you an example of what this consisted of. We discussed friction with children, and this really amounted to showing kids how ice skates work. And so we took ice cubes and said, let's take the flat end of the popsicle stick and rub it over an ice cube for a while and see what happens. Doesn't work too well, doesn't do much, but if you take the smaller or the thinner end of it, it makes a nice little divot in it. And so I used that as an opportunity to both provide kind of a practical and at the same time not too complex explanation, really, something that's a fairly complicated scientific idea, and got some really cool feedback from the kids. The coolest one being, I love ice skating, and I didn't know that it made water underneath it. It was cool, it was cute, and it was also interesting, though, that they got to see how something like that works.
Are these kids broken into age groups, or is it just open for all?
Sure, yeah, so that's actually one of the things I would be interested in kind of exploring more, to be honest, is currently the format is such that anyone kind of under a teen falls under the purview of children's services.
Okay.
Now, part of me is wondering if it might be worthwhile, depending on the way attendance gets sort of structured from here on out, to break these into further groups. I mean, for instance, because the interest of pre-K and preschool children are going to be substantially different than, say, 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. Currently, I mean, I've been here for 2 weeks, so I don't have a great sample off of which to build this. I'd like to collect some data, then kind of analyze it, and then discuss with the library board and Kathy and so on to see what we can do maybe to potentially improve this, or if we find the model as it is continues to work, just kind of work to expand on that. And finally, some of the other things I'd like to do, I'd like to get in some guest speakers, especially on children's literature and so on, and to maybe get some folks in the community who are involved in, say, the arts or entertainment, or again, science, technology, engineering, and math, and get them to do children's-oriented programs to get kids excited about learning and reading. If you folks have any other questions, I'd love to hear them. Otherwise, I'll be downstairs most of the time during the week, so I'd be glad to hear from you.
Will you be staying for the entire meeting?
We hadn't exactly planned on it. If
Okay,
you'd like
I
us to.
can, no, I'll just get with you later. I have some amazing spoken word artists who would absolutely love to come to the
I
program.
would love to do that. I can
We
leave my
can link up,
email
for
address,
sure.
or, yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
I would love to.
Okay, thank
You can
Fantastic.
always call down to the library.
Okay, I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, I would love to, that sounds great.
Okay. Awesome.
Thank you all
Anybody
so
have any
much.
questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
No questions? Thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you folks.
Alice, did you have something?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I could not see him though, if you would be able to move the camera toward the microphone.
I'll turn it
That's
the
why
other way.
we're just stealing.
The other way.
But it'd be nice to have that. I just see the ceiling, and that's been the opposite way. That's
There you go. Is that better?
a little bit better. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving on then, I would like to acknowledge receipt of the following written reports. The treasurer's report for May, the financial reports, the Act 511 and trash collection report, the property tax collection report, the police report, the EMS report for May, the ordinance officer's report, the building inspection report, the public works report, the fire department report, and the library report. Oh, they're gone already. Okay. And we will move on then into the mayor's report, and then we can have any discussion.
There's a item on tonight's agenda for approval of the ordinance for the traffic signal at Cornell and North Linwood Avenue, that the no turn on red sign has been removed. There have been no traffic accidents or anything that have occurred since the removal of the sign, and I'd encourage council to pass that ordinance tonight. Chartiers Avenue, we're still talking about a tree on Chartiers Avenue months and months and months ago, a year ago anyhow. And there's been a flurry of emails back and forth between state representatives and the city council people going towards Pittsburgh Public Works and to no avail. Well, evidently today, a guy by the name of Mike Abel from City Public Works has called here and has advised that they will be going down to Chartiers Avenue in the vicinity of 106 to assess that situation. So,
Assess it.
well, for right now, it's better than deaf ears that we've been on for a year. At
Jeez.
least there's somebody we can put a name to now we had somebody we can hang a name on. So between now and the next meeting, you know, Rob may probably be in contact with somebody from the city and may be able to, you know, hopefully have an update. Luckily, so far, the storm season's been relatively mild for us here, so we've been lucky. And that's all I have.
Okay. We're gonna talk about the ordinance later under our motions, but did anybody have any other questions or any discussions regarding the mayor's report? Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moving on then to the engineer's report.
Okay, administrative consent order related. We updated the O&M plan based on a 5-year audit that's required. So that's been updated, it's been sent out, Ann's got a copy, we have a copy, DEP's got a copy. And then also, the flow isolation field work has been completed. It's part of the source reduction study required by the Phase 1 consent order. So we have that information, which is great, and then depending on budget, we will get into reviewing it and QAQC and all that kind of stuff that goes along with it as well. Point repair project will be complete this week. Roto-Rooter is just about done. They're raising some manholes over on Bell Avenue area off Chartiers, and they should be done. Lining contract, there's an A and a B. A is the spot lining, we're about 90% complete. They're just waiting in a couple areas where the road program's going on. They want to stay out of their way, they'll come back and finish those. Manhole to manhole liners, which is contract B, has not started yet. Preventive maintenance has been bid. Prices came in very well, but we're waiting on concurrence from all the participating municipalities. Road program is nearing completion, except for Walnut, as you guys know. The water company's been out there. The main line has been installed. We're waiting on service connections, and PA American Water does that themselves. So they were supposed to start today. We're trying to find out where they are. Hopefully they'll be out there tomorrow, starting to reconnect each home to the new water line. And then they anticipate having Harris done this week, weather permitting. Then they'll come in and pave Locust, which is the last street that has not been done due to some base repairs and water main issues up there as well.
I have a quick question about Walnut. Have we made sure that the contractor is notifying the residents when they're turning off the water?
But we don't, as far as the water company, we don't watch their work.
Oh, it's the water company.
Yeah, it's a water company, so they should be, and that's why we're contacting Joe Casilli with the Casper Colosimo.
Just because that was a call out.
Yeah, right, and
Were you with me when we got that call out? We were somewhere, I can't remember.
I may have came into the office
Okay,
afterwards,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, we're aware of that, and we're trying to get answers on that, if they're properly notifying residents.
Okay.
Especially because when they reconnect these service laterals, they're gonna be without water while they do that, so.
And they need to flush their water.
Right, yeah, so we gotta make sure that they're aware of this.
Okay.
So when they get out there, which we're hoping tomorrow, we may even run over there, and if Rob's around, just remind them to make sure that they're contacting residents properly.
How many people live on that street? I'll hand rate the Post-its if you put them on the doors.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not that hard, right? No, I gotcha. Yeah, it's not that hard.
Okay,
So-
thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And then, so any other questions for the road program?
Is Roto-Rooter still working in the area on the sewers?
Yeah, all they're doing, all they have left to complete is they're raising some manholes off of Bell Road or Bell Avenue. We've had manholes buried there for years that we've known about, and we're finally getting in there and getting them raised. So that's all we have left.
Were they on Taylor today, Taylor Street?
Roto-Rooter?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably water company, because they were raising a manhole off of Bell. They'll be on Chartiers as well, raising a manhole, but all in that area. So, pool splash pad, as you guys know, the grand opening was last week, and as of right now, all we have left are some punch list items. So we're holding 5% retainage, and Denny will be working with them. The project manager will be working with them to get those complete. And then last on here is the memorandum of, is this going to be a are we talking about this later, or are we gonna talk about this right now?
It doesn't matter, it's on the agenda for approval.
Okay, so essentially, to make a long story short, the Conservation District sent out a memorandum of understanding, mostly regarding MS4, which Crafton does not have MS4 because it's combined sewer. But there are some things in there that you guys would probably be interested in, and we would recommend you signing basically it just reiterates what they're doing for Crafton. They're reviewing any ENS plans that come in, and they do this for many communities in the area. But by reviewing those ENS plans, they're helping each community with MS4. So even though we don't, or Crafton does not have an MS4, it still makes sense to sign it. There's nothing in it that's.
What's an MS4?
It's a municipal separate storm sewer system is what it stands
Oh,
for.
okay.
Basically, it's the regulations that are gonna be coming through for all the separate communities, similar to what's been going on with the sewers. They're gonna be required to reduce the amount of water that they're putting into the streams and the creeks. So, and water quality, there's gonna be a lot that goes into it. But again, because you're a combined community, as of right now, you're not affected by that. So it may be in the future, but right now, we're not affected. So again, it's very harmless document, and I don't know if anyone wants to add anything to it, but
No,
pretty much the gist of it.
being partnering with the Conservation District is always a good thing, because, you know, they can back you out on financing, and they offer grant applications, so it's a good opportunity for the community to partner with the Conservation District.
Okay, so those two motions are later under Public Works. If you want to have discussion, we can do it after it's moved in second, if that's okay with everybody? Okay? Thank you. Moving on then to the solicitor's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Public hearing set for the burning issue for July 11th. I think that if anybody has any specific recommendations that they want to add in terms of modifications to the model that I submitted last meeting, I guess the appropriate time to bring them would be at the hearing.
Can we see that before we go to the meeting, a draft of what you're working on?
It's basically the
That's
one
what
that
we-
we,
It's the same one, it hasn't been
Same
changed?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing was that the last meeting, there was like one,
minor change.
yeah, it was about the indoor burning. It was something about regulating the
heat
heat, or,
source.
yeah, the heat source, or what, it was just one little line.
Actually, we crossed it out.
Yeah, we crossed it out, so it was all that's all that's been changed, and that copy has been uploaded to the copy.
Thank you.
Okay, any questions on the burning? Okay, and 78 Fountain, an ongoing problem. We're no closer to court, but the building inspector gave the homeowner until July the 8th to comply with the violation list, so we'll see what happens in July.
Okay. No other questions for the solicitor? Okay, moving on then to the business agenda. Under personnel, I will entertain a motion to authorize to enter into an employment contract with the Public Works Director.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion?
Is the contract drawn up already, or is that what we're going to be working on?
It's done.
It's done, and it was part of your information on the
That's the one that he's gonna.
Everyone had an opportunity to review. Any questions? Okay, then, no additional discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on then to public safety. And this is, ties in with the mayor's discussion earlier about the Cornell Avenue. So I will entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 1636, amending chapter 214, authorizing and allowing a right turn on Steady Red at Cornell Avenue and North Linwood Avenue.
So moved. Second.
Moved and second, any additional discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. I'll also entertain a motion to authorize to advertise the vacancy of the Civil Service Commission. It is a 6-year term, and it will expire on July 1st, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? Did we lose someone?
Maria Witt, her term is expiring, and she has indicated she is not interested in being reappointed.
Okay, so we are authorizing to advertise, and then interested parties submit a
Letter of interest.
Okay. So any additional discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Moving on then to Public Works. I'll entertain a motion to authorize payment to joint O&M Point Repair Project, Year 5, request number 1, payable to Shaycog in the amount of $85,144.10.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Moving on then, I will entertain a motion to authorize payment with Joint Pipe Lining Project, Year 7, administrative agreement payable to Shaycog in the amount of $908.22.
So moved. Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, please say all in favor. If you are all in favor, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'll entertain a motion to authorize payment to Joint O&M Preventative Maintenance Year 3 Administrative Agreement payable to Shaycog in the amount of $934.37.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? I'll entertain a motion to award the bid to Joint Municipal Preventative Maintenance Contract Year 6 State Pipe Service in the amount of $25,262.95.
So moved. Second.
Moved in second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? I'll entertain a motion to authorize payment request number 7 for $19,798 for the pool splash pad project payable to Stone Ridge.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, any discussion?
Is that the last payment?
We have retainage of about $17,000 because there's still punch list items that are still not working properly.
May I ask a question?
Mhm.
When I was down the pool, I noticed that there's like a sharp edge, and I think you pointed that out. What's the, did you find a solution for that, or are they gonna try to help
We're
us?
still working on it,
That is part of our punch list, correct?
part of our punch list.
Whether-
Slide, the
whether
water
it's
that
some
goes
type
down
of-
the little slide, part of the punch list items.
Okay,
There's 3 or 4 different things.
okay, but we have the retainage,
Of 17,000, and Gateway believes that that 17,000 will correct all of the.
So you feel confident that that's gonna happen?
Yeah, they're a little difficult at times, but
They are.
I think they'll come around.
okay, thank you.
It's significant enough money that they're
I
not
mean,
bad.
perhaps should we not authorize this payment?
No, that's why we have the retainage.
I think 17,000 is enough to get them back out, is what
Okay.
I'm saying, yeah.
You guys have any other questions? Hearing no questions, further questions though, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And I'll also entertain a motion to authorize to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Allegheny Conservation District, assist with compliance as recommended by the engineer, which this is what we talked about earlier.
So moved. Second.
Moved and second, any additional discussion? Hearing no discussion then, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. So we did talk about the pool splash pad grand opening. Alice, did you have anything that you wanted to add under Parks and Recreation?
I just want to say that I believe Heather Ravenstahl is doing a fabulous job down there. She has those kids working, has them on great schedules to be able to be going around the pools, seeing if there's anything wrong, attending to any issues that are happening with, little cuts, bruises, and everything else. I just want to say what a wonderful job that I've noticed that both she and her staff are doing. And it was a great pool opening for the splash pad. A lot of fun that day.
A lot of
So
fun.
thank you for all involved.
We had
That's it.
a lot of people were in attendance. We had, the drone was there taking video from above, so that's going to be available to see, and it was a great day.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Moving on then to comprehensive planning. Did you guys want to talk about this?
Well, there was, the one event we had was the pop-up event, which was on June 18th, 2016, the Giant Eagle. Did you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah.
Who was at that? Was that you and Ann? Okay.
Ann and I. So we set up around 11:30. We're there till 3:30. We met a lot of residents. For a while, it was a little slow, but as the day wore on, we had some takers. It was pleasant to hear from all the residents, and the residents brought to our attention some of the items that we're already focusing on, which is connectivity and walkability. Property maintenance, of course, and I think that was reinforced by some of the conversation that Connect brought to us this evening. So overall, the pop-up event went very well. If we do another event, we'll move locations. The garden center is winding down, so I thank the Giant Eagle management for allowing us to set up those 2 days. And we look forward to incorporating the feedback that we received into the overall comp plan. So again, the emphasis being connectivity and walkability, property maintenance, communication. Those are threads that continue to be brought to the forefront. Obviously, there was comments on infrastructure, and we're all very focused on improving infrastructure. So I think the event went very well. We had a debriefing with the consultant, and Dave and I both attended that meeting as well. And that's where the other steering committee members met, and I also briefed the committee on the findings from the 2 pop-up events. So overall, I think we're going to have some very good recommendations for both communities, and we just are continuing to encourage people to reach out. We had a mailing the week before go out. The manager of Crafton facilitated that. We did get them out. People brought them. We also had leftovers from the publishing. So at the end of the day, I walked over to the pool and left a bunch of pamphlets there as well. So I wasn't able to attend the pool grand opening, but I was there the day before, and I must say that asset is a core asset and needs to be part of the comp plan for both communities. So.
Awesome. Steve, on the Thrive website, is there a counter to see how many people visit?
I believe they do have one, and there's going to be. I don't know if we're going to be at the Crafton Celebrate or not. I think that was the intent, but I'm not.
They're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Like a little booth?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And the steering committee and council members will be receiving T-shirts from the consultant. So those T-shirts will be out there, and Ann and I also provided some of them community members with those shirts as well. So they're pretty good looking. They have some of those shirts walking around the community, but council and the steering committee members will also be wearing those shirts as well.
And Dave Morgan came out. He's the ordinance officer. He just presented his perspective on the ordinance process from his, initial communication with a violator and how it proceeds from there. Some of the roadblocks that he runs into and some of the roadblocks that our community, the residents would have, with getting things done quickly. So that was interesting, and, hopefully with communication, we can, working together, we can get together and resolve some of the issues so things move a little bit quicker. Also, I wanted to thank Jacqueline Lavasser for attending the meeting and presenting information on the communication workshop that she's part of. They're working on ways to build better communication lines between council and just different entities in the community. So once those connections are brought together, it'll just make information flow a lot better and better for all of us to a better community.
Anyone have any questions? Anything regarding the pop-up or anything? Okay. Moving on then to announcements. As you know, Crafton Celebrates plays a huge part in our community, so our parade is on June 30th. It's starting at 6:30. Where is it starting? It's starting on Bradford again this year? Okay, so it'll go Bradford around the circle down to the park.
Right.
Okay. The Crafton Celebrates celebration will go through July 4th, fireworks at dusk. Are we still looking for volunteers?
You'd have to check the website. I haven't checked it for Friday.
Alice, do you know if they're still looking for volunteers?
I don't know that, and I was wondering that myself. I'm sorry, I didn't check it.
They're always looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, they are always.
So I think it's Crafton Celebrates.
They need help with the bounce house, I know.
Okay.
They have a couple bounce houses and they don't have enough volunteers for that right now.
I personally can't remember the website's name, but is it craftoncelebrates.com?
I believe, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a sign-up sheet, it's very official, like, you put your name on the date and the time that you want to be there, it sends you an email reminder to let you know that you're signed up and thanks you, so it is a great tool to use if you are interested in volunteering.
Yeah, and they're always looking for volunteers, and the other thing to add to that, there are so many volunteers that have done so much, since the last Celebrates. They're working hard with fundraising and planning and getting the music and the bounce houses and the games and everything set up, and really a lot of hard work was done by a lot of volunteers. So at the very least, come out and spend time with your neighbors and friends in the community and celebrate craft and celebrate the work that the volunteers have put into trying to make a nice event for the community. So.
I don't think you realize how much fun it actually is to work in one of those booths, regardless that it's amazingly hot and it is hard work, but the people that you see, and I mean, I grew up in this community, so it's like a high school reunion for me to see everyone and then their kids, and it's like, I know you, but I know your parents, like, who are you? It's so much fun. So if you have an opportunity to be in the French fry booth or, one of the other booths, I wish I could do it every day, but I'm physically not going to be able to do it every day. Okay. Second, then, is the Recreation Board is looking for volunteers to serve on the board and/or volunteer to assist with our senior dinners, which our senior dinners are held on the third Saturday of the month. So if you are interested, please contact the borough and submit a letter of interest. Our next dinner is on 8/20, and when we're looking for volunteers to help serve the meals, participate in the events, like the activities that we do with the seniors at the senior dinner. So they enjoy seeing the volunteers because sometimes that's their only outing, and it's a good thing to participate in. Moving on then to Craft and Performing Arts. Our concerts will begin July 14th and run through August 18th on Thursday evenings at 7:30 in the park at the stage. The Allegheny County Vacant Property Recovery Program is accepting applications to acquire vacant properties at a reduced cost. Owners must share a common boundary. Applications are due by 8/31, and flyers regarding the program are available on the website. And what sign-in table?
Right over there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sign-in table at the meeting. Did you want to expand on that at all?
No, we participated in it last year,
Mhm.
but like I said, I know blight is one of the concerns, of the, of the comprehensive plan, so if you can get a neighbor that owns the property next door, they can get the, purchase the property through the county at a reduced cost, and they waive a lot of the different fees and things like that. So it's a good program, if you have
Empty lot next to you.
have a vacant lot or a condemned home next to you, then it may be a good thing to look into.
Okay. As far as additional citizens' comments, there are no additional citizens that have signed up for additional comments, although I think you walked in after, so you're good, okay? Then, if there isn't anything else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved? Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? Meeting adjourned.